here we are with my most anticipated game of this year, Monster Hunter Rise. Um, yes, this is a 2-year-old game. However, um, today it came out on PlayStation. Now, when I say today, I want to say by the time you're seeing this, the game would have been out for a few days already. So, yeah, this is very early game. This is still the tutorial, actually. But I wanted to include it because, yeah, I didn't have time to record any other stuff because, unfortunately, right, I have never played old Monster Hunter. So, I'm over here doing the main story. Turns out that's not actually what you do in Monster Hunter. That's just what you did in Monster Hunter World, right? I never played classic Monster Hunter. I only played World, which is why I'm so excited for this game because World was one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. The problem with World, though, which I'll get into that in a second, right? But the reason and if you don't know, okay, World is like, you fight monsters, you get a cutscene, and then after you get a cutscene, you can play with your friends, right? You get a cutscene of the new monster you discovered, and then you can invite them and take them down together. I didn't know this, but apparently in Classic Monster Hunter and this game, you can skip the story. The story and the hunting are two completely different things. I literally didn't know that. So me and my friends spent the first 2 hours of our game playing village quests so we can beat the tutorial and play together. Turns out, there is no tutorial. There is, like, you actually can go straight into the gathering hub and start playing and leveling up. And that is actually how you play the game. You can completely skip the story mode. The story mode adds nothing, really. But if you do hub quests, you still might be able to get the story done. I'm not too sure. But in terms of, like, the actual village quest, the village quests don't add anything. It's just, if you're a solo player, that's probably what you would play. I didn't know that, so unfortunately I wasted the first 2 hours of my time playing village quests, so I was playing all by myself. However, this game, so far, seems better than World in every single way when it comes to gameplay. By the time you see this video, I may feel differently about this. But I do want to talk about my gripes with... By the way, this is the first ever monster I fought. I want to point that out. So, I'm trying to figure out the moves because they changed longsword quite a bit. So, I was trying to figure out how to do the jumping slash with longsword. Like, that's how you spend your meter on longsword. And I couldn't find it. Eventually, I do find it, and I gotta say, I do like what they changed it to. It just makes more sense, and it also kind of balances it in a way, and making you spend a resource. Anyways, my biggest problem with Monster Hunter World, right? And I do want to point this out here. Many people consider Monster Hunter World to be an amazing game, me included, right? But I didn't know that Monster Hunter fans actually consider Monster Hunter World to be on the lower tier, right? I discovered this a couple months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago, and I was watching Monster Hunter players like make tier lists, and they consistently put it on the low end, and I was always like, huh. For that being one of the best games I ever played, for it to be on the low end is very weird to me. However, just from my 2 hours of playing this game, I can understand why, right? And I'm going to get into my gripes with Monster Hunter World, and probably why It's so low on Monster Hunter players' tier list. Okay, so the thing in Monster Hunter World is it's the best looking Monster Hunter game, right? It looks better than this. This was a Switch game originally, so that held it back. And I think I speak for everybody here when I say, Capcom, what are you doing? Okay. Yeah, the game is cool and all, right? But I just want to say, graphically, it's not even comparable to World. It doesn't look like garbage, right? But it looks very not amazing, right? And I just want to say, you know, Monster Hunter World is like one of the most popular games they've ever created. And for them to follow it up with a game that looks like this, the casuals are probably not too pleased right now, right? However, I feel like anyone that's played Monster Hunter World realizes that the fun has nothing to do with the graphics, right? Even though this game was unfortunately held back by the Switch, graphically, the map in this game is incredible. Like, you can climb, like, you see all of these, like, mountains that are, like, next to me, all these walls and stuff. Oh, he's dead. You can actually climb those. You can run up those walls, and straight up climb them. There is no limit to where you can go on this map. The movement in this game is amazing. They added insane movement. You can do wall running, you can grapple the air. Yeah, it's great. It's one of the things they added in Rise that's not in any other Monster Hunter. And you also have this dog. I like the dog. My dog's name is Bingus. And he's, you know, he's pretty cool. He can attack things, you can ride him around. He's a cool dog. But I wanted to talk about is the gripes I have with Monster Hunter World real quick, which is two things that always absolutely stuck out like a sore thumb, especially when I went and watched videos of other Monster Hunters. Number one, the monster variety in that game is terrible. I don't know if this is the case in every Monster Hunter game, but I really don't think it is. I really think it's just a World thing. The monsters in World are like 85% Elder Dragons, and then like 15% like cool, unique monsters. It's just unfortunate. Because being a Monster Hunter player that doesn't own any Nintendo devices, I've always wanted to play the other games because look at this guy. This guy's a rabbit. This guy's a whole rabbit. You would never see a guy like this in Monster Hunter World. There was very, like, the most unique monsters in Monster Hunter World were like the Kirin and like the monkey. Everyone else was kind of a flying dragon of some sort. Which, don't get me wrong, right? You hear me complaining about this, yet I said Monster Hunter World is one of the best games ever played. Because their monsters are that unique and that cool to where it doesn't matter that much. But they are all flying dragons for the most part. Like 80% of them. Or T-Rex type monsters like the Anjanath, the Fulgor Anjanath, the Pickle. The Pickle is pretty much a T-Rex. Yeah, they're very similar, but so far, you know, there's a bunny here, bro. That's pretty unique, and this bunny was pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, and I do want to point out, I know this armor is, if you don't know, Monster Hunter has armor that's kind of like cheating, if you want to say that. So this armor they added into the game to make it so that way you can get to the end game quicker, right? It's like a little, like a booster to your starter, to like how you start. I do want to say I'm not actually wearing this armor. It's layered armor, so I'm wearing the starting armor, but I layered it as this armor because I think this armor looks cool. So, yeah, I want to point that out. I want to play the game legitly. I don't want to get like a speed boost to end game. So no, I'm not wearing the guild armor. It's just layered. Because I actually did do that in Monster Hunter World. To get to Iceborne, I used the cheat armor they give you, and wow, it makes the game incredibly easy. So I'm not doing that again. But I do like the way it looks, so I'm wearing it layered. But yeah. So anyways, my one problem with Monster Hunter World was the monster variety. It sucked. For the most part, everyone was dragons or some type of flying monster. But then, here's where the other problem comes into play. Now, I do want to say, I got really, really into Monster Hunter when Iceborne came out, okay? So, I played World before Iceborne came out, but I didn't play it a lot. I didn't even beat the main story. But then Iceborne came out, and I'm talking, I logged like 200 hours into Iceborne in literally like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Like, I was addicted to that game at one point. But Iceborne also brought one of my bigger problems with the game, and that was Clutch Claw. And if you don't know, for you to do damage to monsters in Monster Hunter Iceborne, which is the expansion to World, and this ended up affecting the entire game. Like, you couldn't just go back to playing Monster Hunter World, no. This changed the entire game. Pretty much what it was is, it's a grapple hook, right? And what you would do is you would grapple hook onto the monster you're fighting, and then when you grapple hook onto the monster, you would have to do an attack. And when you did an attack, it would weaken the body part that you were grappled onto and that you attacked. But the problem is, in many cases, this was not... No, in almost every single case, this was not optional. You had to, mid-fight, look at the monster, grapple onto him, hope he doesn't hit you off, because if he moves, he can knock you off. Finish the attack animation, and then that body part would be weakened for your entire team. This was not optional. You had to do this. And it definitely was annoying. You could also shoot. You could also grapple onto their head and then fire a rock at their face, and that would launch them into the wall, like, and it would knock them over. But it was just a very strange system, and I didn't realize how... I had zero problems with it until I saw that other Monster Hunter games literally didn't even have that feature. I was like, wow, why are we going through this? I'm gonna... By the way, this fight lasts like 20 minutes, so I'm gonna skip ahead. He's running away now, so I'll, you know... yeah, I'm just gonna skip ahead to like when he's about to die, to be honest, because I don't want to drag this video out too long. But the next time I upload a Rise video, it should have a more interesting monster. Even though this guy is pretty interesting, if you've played Monster Hunter World, you know you've never seen anything like this, like me. But yeah, here I cut up ahead a little bit. Anyways, yeah, this game fixed those two problems so far, and it didn't. The only problem I have right now is that it doesn't seem like the animals fight each other. Like, there's no crazy cool animations. There's no turf wars. Instead, you kind of have to do that manually, and it doesn't look nowhere near as cool, but it is more fun, and it also does more damage. So, we'll see. I don't know if there's turf wars in the game, but I haven't seen one yet. So that's kind of a bummer if they got rid of those, but other than that, that's the only negative I've seen so far. This game has better combat. From what I've seen with the longsword, I like the longsword in this game better than the World. I like the small little changes they made. So this game has better combat, 10 times better movement, a better enemy variety, And yeah, no annoying gameplay loop, like with the clutch claw. So overall, I'm enjoying the game. The only problem I have with the game is you don't seem to be hunting the monster a lot. You kind of just go to him immediately, and that's it. I don't know if that's just because I'm at the beginning of the game. Anyways, like, subscribe. I'm going to have more videos. I don't know what I'm going to upload tomorrow. Maybe more Monster Hunter, maybe Persona, maybe Guilty Gear. I don't know. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm enjoying the game. Peace.